What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo, The Boys Season 2 teaser trailer breakdown.
And if you like what we do here at Not Your Status Quo, please subscribe to the channel and hit that like button.
And remember to share this video with all your friends that are over 18 and treat that bell like Hughie treated Translucent to be notified of future videos.
All right, so we finally got a teaser trailer for The Boys Season 2, which is coming out September 4th, and we're going to break it down for you here. But before we do, if you are under the age of 18, you might want to pause this video or come back when you're of age, because there is a lot of graphic violence in this and maybe some cuss words. So if you're underage, do the right thing, come back later. The trailer starts out and we see a poster with Homelander. And if you notice, there's a sticker that says hashtag Stormfront on it as the military vehicles are driving by. And we do know that part of the story of Season 2 is Stormfront is going to be challenging Homelander's leadership within the Seven. A newscaster is talking about a multi-state manhunt for Billy Butcher and his known associates as we see the boys watching the TV. And it looks like they're a little bit blood splattered, and the girl is not mentioned as an associate, and Frenchie's name is unknown.
I do like that because to me, he seems, just the look on Frenchie's face, he almost seems more upset that they forgot who his name was, or, what his name was, than the fact that there's a manhunt for all of them.
And I like that, you can kind of see into the season that Butcher is not with them, and you'll see throughout the trailer that, he's gone somewhere. He's not with them. They're kind of looking at the screen with a little disdain, obviously, because they know they're talking about them. But is it partly because they're a little angry at Butcher for not being there? Who knows?
And you're right. We know at the end of Season 1, Butcher is with Homelander with his ex-wife and Homelander's child, and we don't know what happened after that. So I'm assuming season will start with Billy being away from the boys, and eventually, obviously, part of this trailer is him saying, "I'm home," so we know he's coming back. And then we see Homelander sitting in front of a bunch of monitors, and you see a number there, 8880 crimes. And when you call, unfortunately, you get a cannot be completed as dialed. I did call it to see if we would get any sort of viral type message or anything. Unfortunately, it was nothing. And Homelander is watching all the monitors, very Big Brother-like, with the boys' wanted poster on one screen and maps of the Earth and video feeds on another. So it looks like he's really got a personal vendetta against Butcher, and he's really putting his all into probably finding him and his cohorts.
I think another thing that they're going to try and do in this season, from what I've read, is they're trying to have Homelander basically take over. He wants to basically be the guy in charge of the Seven, of the superhero antics of Vought. And that's why he kind of in Season 1 took it upon himself to orchestrate this plan of creating supervillains, and also taking it upon himself to shoot that plane out of the sky, because he thought that the governor that was meeting with, I can't think of her name right now, was maybe getting in the way of their plans. So
Stillwell.
Stillwell. Yeah. So he's kind of got this idea in his head that he needs to be watching everything, and he might be taking over more in this coming season.
Do you think he's going to be at odds with Giancarlo Esposito's character in this season?
I think so. Yeah, I could see that definitely happening.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that he's going to, for the first part of the season, he's going to just take control, because that's, he just eliminated the competition, so to speak. And then you go higher up the chain, and they're going to have something to say about it.
We then hear Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire" start to play, as we see Homelander and Starlight coming out of a building to a lot of press and paparazzi taking pictures. And Starlight is wearing the outfit that she was in Season 1 that she did not like at all. So is she starting to conform a bit?
No.
Well, she also did not look very happy when she was walking out of the building either. When she was walking out with Homelander, she basically just looked like she was kind of rolling with the punches and doing what she was told.
What I think is that at the end of the season, she decided that she was down with what the boys were doing. I think she's going to mull it up. She's going to do what they tell her to do, so she can get deeper into the system and help them out.
And I think I agree with Dave. There's a part later in this trailer too when Homelander's talking to the Seven, and they kind of focus on her face, and she kind of looks off to the side, like she's not really a part of the seven. She's just in there to help the boys and get, as much information as possible. Starlight, Queen Maeve, and Stormfront are at a Girls Get It Done photo shoot. And, between Starlight talking about, the rape in season 1 and Stillwell's murder at the hands of Homelander, they're probably getting some PR, for all of the women that are a part of the seven here, which we know the corporation does everything to further their agenda and make as much money as possible. So this is just another attempt to, probably make some money off of this.
So we should mention that the character Stormfront is a new member of the Seven, introduced. That's going to be introduced this season. A slightly different variation of her in the show than from the comic books, but we've already seen that with a couple of the characters, like with the Deep, I think, is different in the comics and everything like that. So I'll be interested to see where they go with her character in the series.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. We saw a little bit more of her character on the introducing Stormfront video, which came out, which there'll be links down below in our comments to it if you haven't seen it, which is interesting. She's kind of on Instagram or Twitter, and she's kind of exposing some of the secrets of the corporation and Homelander and Queen Maeve. And it looks like she may be getting under the skin of the other seven here really early into this season. Homelander is with a superhero landing, and we see some protest signs about no superhero arm race in the background. And it looks like he's about to speak at a rally, once again, probably needing a lot of PR from the fallout from the first season and being part of the military now, because we even saw, if you saw the exclusive clip that was also released, and once again, we'll have a link down below, we see that Giancarlo Esposito's character is kind of negotiating with the government for this contract for them being part of the military. And it's a really excellent scene.
And he's playing the character that was above, his name just slipped my mind, but he was Edgar. He was in the first season. He was the CEO that they talked about, but they never showed. And that's what I was talking about earlier, when I think Homelander is going to take over like the superhero part of it, and then he's going to have to face up to Edgar when he's done with that. And here's my part. I was wondering, does Edgar have some sort of for lack of a better word, kryptonite that would save him from being, attacked by any of the seven if he gets out of line? Because he's very confident. They seemed afraid of him in the first season. So I wonder, what do you think?
Well, in the comics, the kryptonite they've got in place is supposed to be Black Noir. I don't know if that's a route that they're going to go in the show, but in the comics, it was revealed that he is sort of a clone of Homelander, and he's meant to eliminate him in the event that he turns.
And we actually see his healing factor in that exclusive clip, which once again, the link will be down below. But a guy blows himself up, and he's kind of injured, but he starts to heal himself up. So they may be going the same route as the comics, and he may be a clone of Homelander.
A very silent clone.
And then Homelander is walking in front of the seven, and you just hear him, "Let's take these cocksuckers down." And that's when we see Starlight kind of gives a look off to the side, as if she's kind of getting a little worried that, Homelander is starting to get a little too much into this, and it's going to take a lot to really protect, the boys, and certainly wee Hughie, who she helped at the end of last season. And then we see Hughie watching nervously as someone flies overhead, which is probably Homelander, but it was a little too fast to really get a good look. Frenchie, we are famous now. Looks like they're watching the newscast, and we see a montage of Billy with a scoped gun, and he's on a video monitor about to give the middle finger, probably knowing Homelander is watching, because I think these two are going to be definitely at odds all season long. And then ending with Billy telling Hughie that Daddy's home. We see cop cars, and Billy saying that we have been through, enough shit together. Is this one of his wonderful motivational speeches that was so good in season 1? And then followed by someone using their powers to throw some people into some store displays. Looks like we're going to see some more supers, whether they're going to get into any of those other groups like they have in the comics, like the Young Americans, I think. And is it Payback? Is some of them. And then we see Homelander pushing a kid off the roof. And I wonder if that kid is a super, since we never see him hit the ground. And I wonder if it's something in the show where he's going to start flying before he hits the ground. You know, Homelander knows that he's been given Compound V and that he has superpowers, so he's not really worried about it. Homelander is a sadist and an evil man, but I think he's trying to motivate that kid to have his superpowers come out.
I mean,
we never
the
really saw
first
him
time.
land, so I thought maybe he just landed on a trampoline or something, because you see him throw him off, but we never see him land. So
It's also not the first time that he's let a kid die. If you remember the 2 planes that were going down, and the little girl had asked him, Mr. Homelander, are we going to be okay? Are you going to save us? Oh, yeah, of course. And then he looks at Queen Maeve and says, we're done here. Let's the plane crash. All the kids and people die. Not for kids. Not a family show.
Doug, he did everything he could to save that plane. If they were just part of the military, they would have known sooner, and he could have saved everyone.
Okay, the 7 apologist.
You believe in that propaganda, Keith?
Why would he lie on camera to us, guys? Come on. You got to trust Homelander. Then we see the female with someone, and then we see blood splatter on a glass door. Is this kind of before they're watching that newscast of them being wanted? And then we hear Billy saying, this is a fucking mess. We see a keypad being pressed as a home explode. And once again, from the exclusive clip, we see that home net is exploding. And it is, I will call him Burnin' Truth, is fighting Black Noir at the time. And then we see a protester in camo giving the finger to Homelander as Homelander uses his heat vision to blow his hand off.
So it says on his uniform, the guy in camo, it says U.S. Army. So I assume that he's protesting because he doesn't want the 7 to be a part of the military. Because if you watch that exclusive clip, links down below, as Keith said, the CEO of Vought Industries is basically saying that they're not going to have a chain of command like people in the military. They'll report directly to him. So I feel like that's probably going to really get under some of the people in the military, get under their skin.
I wonder how they're going to spin him blowing somebody's hand off at a press conference to be positive.
Well, I'm sure they'll frame that Army guy as being a terrorist or a traitor or something like that. But, having been in the military, I know that, chain of command is extremely important when you're trying to get things done. And anyone outside of that chain of command is probably not going to be looked on all that well. And especially if they're working with the military, they may know things about, the 7 that the general public doesn't know, just how they really are. And it's all, a front.
Based on the rank of that soldier's hat, it's hard to see because it kind of goes by quick. Maybe we can put a still frame up. But it looks like he is either a sergeant first class or possibly either way, he's enlisted. So I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that our members of the 7 were probably, if they were given any sort of rank within the military, probably something akin to like Captain America and give him some sort of officer rank. So maybe he can pull rank on a lower enlisted or something, blow his hand off.
Oh, that's definitely a very, very, very strong possibility. Then we get Billy Butcher. We are the most wanted lads in the country. We see an NYPD helicopter circling over the boys on a boat. And Mother's Milk. So what's your big plan? Billy Butcher. Oh, you'll love it. Hughie. I won't love it. I never love it. Never fucking love it. Billy Butcher. Noted. And then we see a shot of the Deep, and it looks like he is filming a promo, which we know a lot of, the 7 and the corporation. Really, it's all about PR and making themselves look good. We get a slight wing from Homelander. Then we see 2 people fighting in front of the car. And then we see Black Noir carrying a severed head off. And we'll call him Burnin' Truth. This is also in that exclusive clip that was also released by Amazon Prime. Then we see Billy cocking.
Say, Keith, where can they watch that video?
Oh, the link's down in our comments below. And then we see Billy cocking a gun. And then we see an explosion at a building, NYPD helicopter crashing. And then we see an awesome shot of Stormfront using her lightning and lifting herself off the ground. really shows how powerful that character is going to be in season 2. We see Mother's Milk inside of a house shooting at somebody. Billy getting out of a shark or a dinosaur that it looks like it ate part of the boat that they were in earlier. So that's definitely going to be an interesting scene in season 2. And then we see Black Noir fighting, who I believe is Billy, in a building that we saw blow up earlier. And then we see someone, I'm assuming Billy, getting tossed out of the window. And then we see a dog sitting with the boys. And I'm really hoping that is Terror from the comics. For those of you who read the comics, Billy has a dog named Terror that he has do things to other dogs. And it's not always the most pleasant thing. I don't think they'll have that in the show, but it's nice that Terror makes a cameo in this trailer, if that is Terror. We see someone throwing someone like into a building using their powers.
I'm gonna guess that that's that same telekinetic guy from before that tossed them in the store, because it looks like the same like hat and jacket.
No, I was going to say the same thing. You're absolutely right. Homelander drinking some baby formula. Ugh. I couldn't tell if that was laced with compound V and maybe he was trying to get powers, or if he's sleuthing it up and trying to find something, like someone has stolen their compound V laced formula for their babies, and this is just regular formula.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just his kink, because if you remember, he was like super into it with oh God, what was her name again?
Stillwell.
Yeah, Stillwell. He was super into that with Stillwell.
I think that's her breast milk, because they
I think
spent
so
some
too.
time selling she was pumping that and saving it, that I think that he took it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a feeling that's all it is. He's just a friggin' weirdo.
Yeah.
That would not be surprising at all. We see Black Noir with the stuffed animal from the exclusive clip that was released earlier by Amazon Prime. Once again, the link down in the comments below. Queen Maeve is in an elevator giving someone the finger. I'm sure we'll find out who that is. Maybe it's Homelander, or maybe it's Giancarlo Esposito's character. We see the female looking at a ring. Frenchie with some brand new weapons to help the cause. And then we see the boys once again riding a boat. Homelander crushing someone's head. Someone using heat powers, it looks, to kind of melt through a door, perhaps. And then we see Stormfront battling someone on the roof. It looked like the female to me, but...
Yeah, I think it is the female.
To me too. Yeah.
Which I can't wait to see that fight. That's going to be awesome scene. And then Billy Butcher saying, ain't you twats lucky that I showed up? So it sounds like he may, at some point, whenever he does get back to the boys, he's going to save them. They're probably in some trouble with somebody, and he's going to show up to kind of save them, pull them out of the fire at the last minute. And then it ends on Billy raising his head to the camera and not looking overly happy about something. And perhaps we can guess that something Homelander has done, or possibly something to do with his ex-wife and Homelander's kid. But, a lot shown here. I mean, I'm pretty fired up for season 2. I don't know about the rest of you. What are y'all thinking?
I think you're right. There was a big omission of certain cast members in this preview that I think might play a bigger role than people think, and that's his wife and kid. I think they're gonna have a bigger role, and they're just not showing it in the preview. There was also not a lot of Starlight in this video either, but like I said, I think she's gonna have a bigger part. I just think that they were capitalizing on their main characters during this preview.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Dave. I'm pretty sure that's most likely the route they were going. I think that there's 8 episodes a season. There's plenty of time to kind of like get out what it is that they're planning on doing. I can't wait to see what the overall story is. If it's anything like what people are speculating, where Stormfront is secretly trying to take over the 7 by exposing everything that Homelander is doing, because she's apparently very knowledgeable of social media and everything, as we see in that exclusive clip linked down in our details section. So, I can't wait to see what's going to end up happening. I can't wait to see how the boys end up, getting back at the 7. I can't wait to see if you guys are right, if Starlight is secretly infiltrating the Seven in order to help out the boys. So yeah, a lot to look forward to in this upcoming season. So I can't wait for September.
Yeah, and I think, season 1 did end on kind of a cliffhanger with Homelander and Billy at his ex-wife's home. So we have no idea how they get separated, what really happens. I mean, is Billy's ex-wife want nothing to do with them? I mean, there's so much unanswered, and they did not give us any information in this teaser trailer about that. So I think most people are really sitting there wanting to see all about that cliffhanger. So they definitely have gotten our interest peaked with this trailer.
And I've heard, as far as the show goes, the shows will be dropped in a different way. Do you have any information on that, Keith?
I did hear that they're not going to drop them all at once. They're going to do that one a week thing, which, is always really good. Hopefully, that worked really well for The Mandalorian. You get that appointment viewing where, hey, once it drops, everyone's ready to see it. You're able to digest that week before episode for that whole week to figure out what's going on. I think it just generates a lot more, trending, a lot more ideas, a lot more people talking about it when it's not just people, ingesting the entire season in one night. I think it's going to be good for the show.
So you say that, but then Tiger King happened.
You can't take that back.
That dumpster fire appeared on Netflix. Everybody, watched all of it in one binge session, and that was all the internet had ever heard of for like 3 weeks straight.
Well, that was kind of its own thing. That was unscripted. That was, reality TV, and that was just an absolute dumpster fire. Hopefully this is a dumpster fire, but in a good way, where we see a lot of, because I think the thing about The Boys that really is the best is both sides think they're doing the right thing, and both sides aren't really all that great, but they're at odds, and they're making no one out to be these, superheroes. They're all kind of dirty and mean and doing whatever it takes to get the job done. And that's what makes it show so interesting. I think the characters are very, well-rounded, and they're not just, what the corporation is trying to make the Seven look like through the PR. They're actually real people and all that.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things that I was thinking about, going back to what you were saying about with that we didn't really get to see much about the cliffhanger that we were left with at the end of season 1. One thing that I remember from the first season is that, and again, this ties into what you're saying, how, both sides are they both have their issues. Billy wasn't exactly, he wasn't completely sure on what had happened. And it also seemed like, I don't know, it was almost implied in a way that we weren't entirely sure if Homelander had actually raped his wife or if she had willingly cheated on Billy with Homelander. It was never really made clear. So we don't know what really happened, what the story was. All we know is that she was pregnant with Homelander's kid, and that for the good of everybody, I guess, at least as far as Vought was concerned, they hid it from everybody. And they told Billy that she had died. They told Homelander that she had died and that the child died during birth or something like that. So
yeah, and
we don't really know. Hopefully they answer those questions.
And it will be the first super that was not brought about by Compound V and being raised by its own mother. So, there's a lot of interesting, plot lines that can come out of that whole thing, because you're right. We don't know if, she still is in love with Billy, or if Billy might be a very tough person to love. So if she was ready to leave him, and obviously picked the wrong guy to go to when fleeing Billy. So they did leave a lot of very, very good unanswered questions that they can delve into in season 2, or even, get into a little bit in season 2 and wait till season 3, because as we have heard recently, this has already been greenlit for season 3. So, they got a lot of wiggle room with season 2 because they have a whole nother season coming. So, this is going to be their playground, and September 4th cannot get here fast enough.
In my opinion, with his wife, I think that she was, just from her reaction when she was sitting on the park bench and got up and walked away, I think that she did this to save Billy's life. I think A Homelander was going to take him out just so he could be with her. And she said, no, 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 no. I'll be with you if you just let him live. That's where I think that story went. That's my opinion. If it's there's a prediction for you folks. See if I'm right.
We'll mark that down in our Excel document. We'll see if Dave's right. But I think that's a very good, observation. She did make herself be seen on a very public camera. So Billy would know that, she was out there and that she was gone, like basically leaving. And maybe she was hoping, please don't try to follow me or find me, because if you do, it's not going to end well for you. But thanks everybody for watching. I mean, did we miss anything in this video? Let us know if we did miss anything. Let us know your theories. Let us know if you agree with ours or how excited you are for season 2. Once again, if you're under 18, I really hope you're not watching this show because it's probably not for you. But if you are, what did you guys think? I mean, let us know.